test ng, you can build @test annotation. This becomes a test case. Okay, and then you can use assertions to validate some values. Okay, to basically pass or fail the test case. And I told you can also use soft assertions. With the help of soft assertions, you can report multiple failures inside a test case. Okay, and I also told you that, hold on, yeah, I also told you that there is something known as data provider. Okay, so we had this login test in which I made the data provider. Okay, with the help of data provider, you could run one test case multiple times with different sets of data. Okay, so we did all these things, right? So now let's move forward and I'll talk about generating reports. Okay, so I will hold on. I'll just make a new Java project. Okay, and I'll call it reporting. Oh, all right. Or I'll make a Maven project. And I'm going to call it reporting. Look, to generate reports, right? You need to use extent reports, and I told you yesterday that there is a free version of extent reports which we are going to use. Okay, so this is my project reporting, and in this what I'll do is, this is my pom.xml. Fine.
Ashish, what's the difference between normal project and Maven project?
In Maven project, you can have pom.xml in which you can configure the jars. Okay, you can mention the versions of the jars which you want to use. For example, for this particular project for reporting or report generation, I will add the jar files for the extent reports. Okay, this is the dependency. So you also need to include this dependency. Okay, so this dependency is for extent reporting. You can generate extent reports with this.
Ashish, I'm not able to see your screen, like some problem in my system or what?
Are you guys able to see it, everyone?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you are looking at the wrong window. Okay, just check your Teams link. Right. So this is the dependency of extent reports. All right. And when you add this dependency, you save the project, it will build. And if you look at the Maven dependency section, it has downloaded. Hold on, which was the reporting was the project. And the reporting, if you look at Maven dependencies, it will download few jar files. Okay, these jar files are auto downloaded because of this particular dependency from Maven. Okay, now how do we generate reports with this? Right, suppose I have in source test Java, I'll make a new package. Right, and I'll call it as test cases. Right, so the test cases package, I'll create a new test. For example, I have to add a stock, same test case which we were to add stock, and I will build at the rate test annotation public void add stock. Now when you are building extent reports, okay, you take help of an external file. Hold on, you'll have to add the testng library and import. Yeah. So for generating extent reports, you need to have this particular file, extent manager. Okay, I will copy this file into my project.
Sorry to interrupt. Is this a link I just typed in the? I'm still not able to see the screen, so that's why.
If we are able to hear you, you are in the meeting, and
Yeah, I know that's what. Like I don't.
link is same. You can
Yeah,
leave this meeting and try to join again.
I did that 2-3 times. I don't know what's the problem. Okay, let me see
Maybe,
one second.
I don't know.
Yeah, I understand.
Um,
Let me check once again. Yeah.
okay. See, this is the reports folder. Under this, I have kept a file known as extent manager.java. Now, what does this do? What extent manager.java is doing? This file I have created it, but it basically is for the reporting. It initializes the reports. Okay, and it will be used in the framework as well. Right, it's a utility file which can be used with any project to build reports. It's got a function known as uh, get reports. Okay, so suppose I want, what we'll do is that we will create a folder under our project known as reports. And we would want the HTML reports to be generated under this reports folder. Okay, so you can obviously use extent reports to generate a, a proper HTML report under this folder reports. Okay, but understand the point that, hold on, I'll tell you. Just a minute. Make directory reports.
Ashish, is this extend reports is something the class which is readily available in Google, or we need to write?
This is I have made. This I have made because I wanted a class which could be reused with every project. Okay, to generate reports under the reports folder. Okay, so just a minute. Okay, now I'll tell you how it works. Fine, this is my addstock.java, and what is inside that file I'll explain you, but first understand what is the file doing. Right, I'll write over here extent manager, which is the file under the reports package, dot get reports. Guys, please. Right, so over here the get reports function will return you object of a class known as extent reports. Okay, now extent manager is my class. I made this class. I will tell you what this class does, what does the get reports function does. But this function returns you object of an internal class, like WebDriver is internal, Chrome driver is internal. Extent reports is internal class inside the extent reporting API. Okay, so you can simply say over here report dot create the test. Right, I'll create a test, add stock test. Fine, and this will return me the object of extent test. Extent test is again an internal class inside the extent reports API, which represents a basically test case. It defines a test case, right? And you can create a test with this particular name. Okay, then you can add some logging statements. For example, I can write test.log status dot. There are different log status, debug, error, failure. What do you want to report? I just want to report a information. So you will say info log, and you can write over here starting add stock test. So you can log different things, right? That is, for example, you can say logging in, adding a stock, and if you have to report a pass, you can write test.log status.pass, and you can write over here login test passed. All these lines which you are logging will come up inside the reports. Okay, and in the end you just need to write the line report.flush. What is extent manager file doing? What have I done inside it? I will explain you in some time. Let me just show you the output of what actually is going to happen. Fine. So if I run this test case, see, it runs fine. Okay, and if you refresh the reports folder, or if you go to the reports folder, then you will see that a folder with the current timestamp is made, that is Friday, March 26th. Okay, somewhere around 7:16 a.m. the reports have been generated, and inside it you will have the file index.html. Index.html file, if you open this, then this will have the add stock test. It will say starting this test, logging in, adding the stock. Okay, login test passed in the end. All right, so it's very easy to generate this report. Okay, you just need to write few lines of code and that's it. And the best part is, if I run it again, I've designed the extent manager in such a way that if I run it again, then the new reports are generated in a new folder with the new timestamp. The folder name is based on the timestamp. This is the best part, because you don't, at times when we are running scripts, we don't want to lose the older reports. If I just make one index.html over here, that file generated would replace the older reports on every run. Okay, so we want that on every run, a new report folder should be generated. Okay, and in that report folder, you should have the index file and the screenshots folder. In this screenshots folder, we can store the screenshots of like errors, failures, or normal screenshots if you want. Okay, we'll see how we store the screenshots and all everything. Okay, so I just want to tell you that the basic concept is that a new folder of reports should be generated every time you run the project. Okay, under the reports folder. All right. So all these provisions are done in Extent Manager. Moreover, if you open the reports, you will see that it's mentioned over here production regression testing. Okay, the title is automation reports. So you can change all these things as well. That is also possible. Okay, and you can also go to say the dashboard view where you will get the pie charts and all. Okay, you can go to the tests view where you will get the test cases. Okay, and the logs. Right. Now, how do we achieve all these things? Okay, this is done through this class. Now let us come over to this class, get reports function. Get reports function is supposed to return me the object of extent reports. It is static in nature, so that I can call this function without creating the object of extent manager. Okay, so this function, it checks that whether the reports extent reports object is null or not. Right. If the extent reports object is null, fine. That means extent reports has not been initialized. Then it will go and initialize the extent reports object. Okay. Now object of extent reports is initialized. This is just like initializing Chrome driver. But you have to tell it that where the reports are supposed to be, what is going to be the name of the report, title and all those things. Okay. And how do you generate a dynamic report folder path? Okay, so first of all, you decide your reports folder path. Now, how do you decide this? Okay, the reports folder path is under this reports folder of the project. Okay, the path to this folder is this particular path. But I don't want to hardcode the path over here. Okay, in Java, actually, there is a command system.get property user.dir. This command system.get user.dir automatically calculates and gives you the path of the current project. Okay, if you run this, you will see that it prints. You see that? Sorry. Right. Okay. So no matter where your project is lying, even if I give you the project and you import the project on your machine, this command will give you the current uh, project path. Okay. So over here, you first find what you do is that you find the reports folder path. Okay. So or the report folder name. Right. Look, what am I doing is that basically in Java, if you create the date object, I told you earlier as well, then hold on. Then if you print this date object, it will print the current date, time zone, everything. You see that? So this can be my folder name, and this exactly I am making as my folder name, report folder name. But the only thing is that folder name cannot have a colon, right? So I can write over here dot replace all. In this, replace all the occurrences of colon with a hyphen, right? So this becomes your folder name.
Why it's printing 2 times?
Okay, so pardon?
Why the date is getting printed 2 times?
Hold on, I'll cut this line, run it. One of the times it is being printed from this particular function get reports. Okay, over here also I'm printing. Okay,
Okay.
so I'll just remove it from here. So the same thing I do over here. I create the date object and I say that the reports folder is this particular name followed by slash screenshots folder inside it. So basically I'm saying that it's something like this, that there will be a reports folder with this name, and under that there will be a folder known as screenshots. So you have to create the screenshots folder under the report folder as well. Okay, so this is the folder structure I have to create. All right, so basically the path up till the screenshot folder, the screenshot folder path, this is a string variable. The screenshot folder path, I have to generate this particular path. Basically last two folders I have to generate. Okay, so I decide the screenshot folder path, which is actually the project path, system.getProperty user dir. Inside it there is a reports folder, right? And under this you have the variable reports folder, which is actually this particular folder. Okay, the variable which I had initialized over here. So you have to create this particular path. Okay,
Ashish, we need to create the folder first and then give the path here, right? Or will it automatically create the folder?
no, we are first finalizing the path. Okay, the screenshot folder path. Okay, and I'm printing it as well. Forget about this line right now. Okay, so this is the screenshot folder path, right? And this is the report folder path. I've taken two variables. One variable screenshot folder path is having the path to the entire screenshots folder. The other variable reports folder path is only having the path till the reports folder, this particular path. Okay, I'm printing the screenshots folder path, it's not needed. Then you create a file object, file f equals to new file. You give the path to the screenshots folder and you give the command file.mkdirs, that is make directories. So under this path, whichever directories are missing, it will make all the directories. So basically the last two directories would be made. Okay, right. If I put a debug point on this particular line, I put a debug point, right? I'll go here and delete all these, and I will go to the Java file, put a break, and hold on. I'll run this test in the debug mode. You can run the test in the debug mode as well. Just click on the debug button and the breakpoint, the code will stop on the breakpoint. Okay, if I hit F6 and F6 again, see, screenshot folder path would be the path to the screenshots directory, and reports folder path would be the path to the reports directory. And you create the object of file, right? And as soon as I say mkdirs, the directories would be made. Okay, the path till the screenshot folder would be generated. I hit F6 and you see that both the directories are made. All right, and then Once it is done, once you have finalized the directory, the place where you have to generate the reports, you have finalized it. Okay, I'll stop the execution. Then you need to configure your reports. As I told you, you need to set the name of the report, title and all. So for that we have the class known as extend spark reporter. You create the object of extend spark reporter. This is internal class. Okay, and you give the folder path of the reports. That is, this is the location where the reports have to be generated. In the configurations, you set the name of the report, title, theme. There is a standard theme. There is also a dark theme. Okay, you can choose any theme, and then reports dot attach the reporter spark reporter. You give this line. Fine. And let me show you the dark theme as well. And that's it. You return the reports object. So you initialize the directory over here. Two things you're doing: report directory, and then you initialize the report settings as well. Okay, and you return the reports object back. So this is a standard file. I made this file because this kind of code I used to repeat in every project I used to do. So I made a simple file extent manager, which could be imported in any particular project. And I just need to give one command, that is extent manager.get reports. That's it. So this returns me this does everything. This generates the directories, this configures the reports and returns you the report object back. Okay, and you just need to focus on creating the test in the report, and inside the test you can log different informations. Right, so when you run this, automatically reports are generated. You see that? Okay, right, but there's the catch over here now. The catch is, suppose if the test is running, you are writing some Selenium commands over here in between, right? And there is some assertion failure. If you write over here, assert dot fail the test case. Right. So if you run this code, this will fail in test ng, but in extent manager, you will not have the reports generated. The index.html file is not generated. The problem is that report.flush command is not executed. If there is some, because of some reason, the test stops in between. Okay, if there is some exception, like if I simply write int I equals to 100 divided by 0, so the code will stop on this line. So report.flush is not getting executed. Right. So for this, to make sure that reports are generated, we have got annotations. Okay, predefined annotations in test ng, something like say before method and after method annotations. So these will definitely be executed before and after executing the test cases. Okay, no matter whether the test is passing, failing. Okay, if I write over here before method, and if I write over here after method. All right, and if I run this, see, this is printing before method and after method over here. Okay, in between it will execute the test case. Okay, I did not write anything over here. I'll print the name of add stock. So you will see that before method, add stock, and then after method. Even if the test case fails, okay, whether, look, failures are of two types. One is assertion failure, which you are doing. Okay, one is the failure with the assertion which you do like this. Okay, so in this case also, you will see that before method, then add stock, then after method. It executes fine. And if there is some failure over which you don't have any control, say some exception happens and you by chance you give a wrong X path or whatever it is, right? In that case also after method and before method will be executed. So you can push this line report.flush in after method so that it always is executed and the reports are generated. Okay, and these two lines you can push them in the before method so that the extend reports object is always initialized, and you can declare your extend report and extend test object globally. Fine. Okay, so this is how you go ahead and implement test case. Okay, now no matter whether the test fails or whether it passes, right? Report dot flush or stops abruptly in between. Report dot flush command will surely be fired and the reports will be generated. Okay, so if you run this code, you see this reports folder is generated, right? Now we will be using these reports in our project. Okay, now if you talk about a simple data driven script, right? What is a data driven script? What is a data driven framework? We can simply make this script data driven. I can add a data provider over here, like I added the data provider yesterday. Hold on. uh, in test-ng features, okay, hold on. Yeah, this was the login test. Yeah. So I can simply add a data provider over here. Say I want to run the test 3 times, right? And I want to add a stock 3 times. Okay, first time I want to add stock for say company known as Tata Motors, and I want to add 100 shares, and then you know you can supply different data sets. Okay, then I want to run it with Reliance, and I want to add 200 shares, and then I want to run it with say Infosys. I want to add 400 shares. Okay, inside this test you can mention that the data provider is get data. That is, for this test case the data is coming from this particular data provider. Okay, And you can mention two things over here, say string the stock name and the stock. Okay, so you can log in the reports as well, starting the stock test and
Ashish,
okay,
don't we have
yes,
to change the index for the data, like the row?
index. Oh, sorry, yes, 1122. Yes, sorry. I think yesterday also I made this mistake. Yeah. So you have to, yes, you have to change this index. Yes. So you can mention over here starting at stock test, you know, stock name is this particular stock name. You can log it in the reports, and quantity is this particular stock quantity. Right. So when you run this code, it runs fine. And if you look at the reports, this is the report. You see it is running 3 times, and the theme of the report is now dark because in extent manager I had said that, you know, the theme is dark theme, right? So see it, this test runs 3 times. First it runs with Tata Motors, and then it is showing for Reliance. Okay, and then it shows for Infosys. So this is a basic data driven script. That is, you are reading the data from the data provider, fetching it to the test case, and reports are getting generated. Okay, so Selenium will not do all these things. This is not part of Selenium. Okay, but you have to learn these things as well. Inside this particular test case, you can write your Selenium scripts. Okay, now out here I have hard coded the data. Now you can also do one thing. You can read this data from Excel file and supply it in the data array. So this can also be done. So it will be a data driven script from which the data is being read from the Excel file, supplied to the test case. So once the data is inside the test, you can manage that data with the code. Okay. So this is about reporting and a basic data driven script. You can try to make it. Okay. I haven't built the exercises on test-ng actually. I'll be building it on the weekend and I'll be giving it to you. Okay. Now, today in the evening at 8 p.m., we will have the discussion to discuss the exercises as well. Okay. I won't do anything further today. I think extend reports is done. Cucumber will start off with the framework on Monday. Okay. I know time is left, but it doesn't make sense that I start the cucumber right now. But yes, for today evening, 8 o'clock, we will have a discussion. I'm calling two batches. Okay, the evening batch as well. So you can join that batch, and I'll be discussing the exercises in it. Right. So today is 26th. Okay.
Ashish, can you please record that session because
I
it's like
always record that session. The last session is also recorded.
okay, because
Okay.
that's my working time here, so I won't be able to
Okay.
join.
I'll put those recordings in a separate, uh, in a separate module by the weekend, and you will get it under your account. Okay.
Okay,
So
thank you.
this is the link for to evening, Dow evening. You can say, what is this? Sorry, just a minute. Yeah, I'm giving you the link. This is the link for the 8 p.m. class, okay, in which you can come and discuss the exercises and all, okay, and that's going to help you, right? And I'll record it and I'll put it under your recordings as well. Okay, then, fine.
Yeah, I have one question about this
Yes,
extend reports. Can we use it along with the JUnit also?
yes. These reports are independent of TestNG or JUnit. They can be
Okay,
used. You
okay,
can use it in Cucumber as well.
okay, okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashish.